26 sailors, including 3 Keralites, have been detained by Navy personnel of West African nation Guinea. The detention was following the suspicion over their involvement in crude oil piracy. The sailors were in the Norway vessel Heroic Idun when they were detained by the Guinean Navy, reportedly at the behest of Nigeria. Coincidentally, Vijith, the brother of Vismaya, who died by suicide following dowry harassment at Sathankotta in Kollam last June, is among the sailors, say reports. Though the ship's Norway-based company offered $200,000 as ransom, the Guinean Navy hasn't agreed to release them. The move is to hand them over to Nigeria as per reports. The ship reached Nigeria's AKPO terminal on August 8th to fill crude oil. While the crew was awaiting their turn, another ship was spotted heading towards Heroic Idun. Though the sailors tried to steer away from the spot, assuming the approaching vessel to be of pirates, the vessel was seized by the Guinean Navy personnel. The sailors were taken into custody and interrogated. There are 3 Malayalis in the group, which has 16 Indians. The rest are foreigners. The Guinean Navy couldn't find anything unusual in the investigation, according to reports. A strong involvement by India and other countries through diplomatic channels would be needed to secure the release of sailors. The relatives of the detained sailors are saying that the release of the employees is possible only if countries, including India, intervene in the matter. Their relatives have sought the intervention of the state and Indian government for the immediate release of the sailors. The team of 26 employees of Norway-based OSM Maritime had left for South Africa to transport crude oil to Nigeria. The captain of the ship is Dhanush Mehta and chief officer is Sanu Jose, a Malayali. Vijith is a navigating officer. According to global ship tracking sites, the Heroic Idun was still in the Gulf of Guinea on the western African coast on Sunday morning. Maritime trade is a key source of income for the coastal states of West Africa, and oil accounts for a lion's share of Nigeria's income. However, oil piracy is rampant in the Gulf of Guinea. News Desk, Kaumudy Global.